Hello and welcome back to Pop Tournaments Podcast. In Pop Tournaments, we take a category of pop culture and let you, the fans, vote on matchups in a single elimination tournament format to determine an ultimate champion. We are here to discuss those results and the upcoming matchups. It is September 14th, 2020. I am Jake Wicker. With me is Ryan Barrett.
What's happening, everybody?
And Jennifer Schmidt.
Hi, friends.
We are coming to you live from just down the road from that old creek you used to visit when you were 12 and wanted to catch some bullfrogs.
The fishing hole.
I love that that's what 12-year-old Jake is doing down by a river. Just catching frogs.
Well,
It's like Andy Griffith.
Yep. Other kids are using it to make out, but Jake's just down there catching some frogs.
There was nobody else in my neighborhood. Was I supposed to make out with the frog? Was I supposed to be searching for dead bodies, like Stand By Me style? Jeez, this wasn't a Stephen King book. Wow.
It's a Beverly Cleary book.
Yep, yeah.
Oh boy. Moving on. It's a Monday. Once again, we're back here with you. Jennifer, how was your weekend?
My weekend, it was good. We tried out for local people, the new Woodfire Cantina at Keg and Case.
Oh, how was that?
Yep. It was good. It was good. Really liked the drinks, for sure. Queso was good. The chips were like super mediocre, but tacos were good. Yeah, nice. They've got a nice patio area outside set up, so because we're still just eating outside, but that's really nice. And yeah, it just opened, I think, like last Thursday. So yeah, we went in, checked
VIP.
it out last night. Nope, I just love that it takes reservations.
Yeah,
and on top of that, yeah,
nice way to relax.
Cocktails were great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after a first week of work,
how's
school going?
Back with teaching, so it's going. I've realized, because a lot of my lessons, like I record a video kind of explaining something, and then I like rewatch the video and stop it at different places and have students like answer quiz questions. And there's nothing worse than like making a video of yourself and just yourself, and then going back and listening to it super closely. So you could pause at all the right times. And I realize how many times I say, all right. Like, it's like 30 times in a 10-minute video.
I guess you haven't been listening to these podcasts.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, oh boy, this is...
Let me just get this done with. We'll record it, and I won't have to think about it for another week.
Then I don't. Then I move on. I'm like Adam Driver. I never want to see the art I've created.
Oh, man. Don't do any interviews with NPR.
Yeah, NPR. Absolutely.
Ryan, how was the weekend for you?
It was great. Very chill. Like most weekends for me have been. We caught up on a new show. I mean... It's like 4 episodes in, a new docuseries that I am obsessed with now.
Is it The
called
Vow?
It's The Fucking Vow. Holy
we
shit.
are into it too.
That show is crazy.
Yes.
I've been so excited.
I don't know about The Vow. Tell me about it.
So The Vow is a show on HBO. It's I don't want to say too much because it's one of those shows that like it's like an onion. Like every episode you kind of peel a little bit more back and it's like, what? Like you think...
Oh yeah, it's the first episode. You're like, sign me up.
Yeah.
This seems pretty great.
I apologize. So are you guys saying vow? Like wedding vows with a...
Yep.
Oh, see, I thought you said the bow.
No.
Like, and I thought it was like a ripoff of that NBC show, The Slap.
Or a documentary about the Madonna song Take a Bow.
Take a Bow. That's a good song. That's one of my favorites of hers.
So The Vow.
The Vow, yeah. So it's essentially about this group called Nexium, and they're
Which is kind of like a Scientology light type,
yeah.
like, group.
Do they sell hair care products?
No.
No,
You're
but
thinking
they've
of
got
Nexus.
a lot of like spin-off clubs. Yeah, Nexus.
Nexus.
But Nexium absolutely sounds like some kind of like expensive makeup
Yeah.
or hair care products.
Especially they instead of a U, they spell it with a V. Like it's very whoever came up with the font and like spelling of it is a genius. It's very classy.
This is like a 7 situation where they spell the
Yeah.
instead of a V, there's a 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's basically like a cultish kind of situation. I don't want to go too far into it other than saying that, you know, it's the one thing that it really has going for it, which, you know, most documentaries don't, is one of the people involved who was like on the inside during this whole thing. He's a
And
subject.
super high up.
Yeah. One of like the main subjects of the movie just happens to be a documentary filmmaker. Yeah. So like, he kind of like was able to, you know, get a lot of great footage and a lot of great interviews. So there's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't get normally, you know, as far as
they taped like
access.
Everything.
They recorded a lot of conversations. So it's a lot of times there's like phone conversations where it's just kind of like trippy atmospheric visuals going on and subtitles with phone conversations going on. And you think that would be boring, but it's like very, very not boring.
Yeah.
Very.
I'm glad there wasn't like a butting of the heads, you know, kind of like two directors not really agreeing.
No. It's
that's good.
It's very scandalous. Highly recommend. I like last night we finished episode 3 like during the afternoon. It was kind of we watched episode 3 like right as football was starting or right before football was starting, and then we took a break for football, and then like at 6:30 or whatever when the games ended, we you know, we're like, okay, let's watch more TV. And I was like, I just want to watch more Vow, and it's not available until 9. And it was just like, give it to me. I need it now.
But
But
you're just watching trailers over and over again to get your fix.
Yeah. And
I mean, yeah.
I found out too last night. I was assuming there was like 4 or 5 episodes. There's 9. So we have a lot left.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yeah, and it's like moving up. I don't know how much more. Like, I feel like I think we watched last weekend. We haven't watched this weekend yet.
Okay.
So we haven't seen whatever's the newest. But it felt like they were getting towards like wrapping it up.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that there's a lot more to go into this.
Yeah.
And this is all like a recent story. We're not talking about like a 70s.
Yeah,
cult.
it's like 2017.
This is like, yeah, is when like
where
all
they're
of this
now.
started going down. Yep. So it's all new with some. I don't want to like say too much if you haven't seen it, but like, yeah, some very like low level former WB like celebrities
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, it was so funny. One of the shows you referenced on one of our first podcasts, Joan of Arcadia, came up, and it made me think of the podcast.
I'm
yeah,
glad everybody's stealing all of our jokes for their.
it is very funny. Anytime you see like something like this where it's like a group of normal people with like a celebrity, they're like, oh my god, like the star power was just insane because of this. And it's like, I would not be able to pick that person out of a lineup.
She's like the fourth lead on a WB show.
Yeah.
Let's pull
As
it
soon
back
as I
here a
found
little
out, As soon as I found out he was like on 2 guest spot episodes of Growing Pains, I just couldn't resist.
But yeah, anyway, that kind of was like the highlight of my my pop culture weekend.
A good premature reco there.
I took a recommendation of a couple other people and watched Love on the Spectrum. Have either of you watched any of that?
I've heard good things. No,
I've seen some.
heard about it on Nicole Byers' podcast.
Oh, nice.
She was talking about it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
It was definitely like respectful to the subjects.
Good.
And like, I feel like I learned more about people on the spectrum, and it's a really cool kind of slice of life about like what it's like to try to find love in your early 20s, being somebody with that sort of condition. But yeah, it's very interesting, cute. It's I would put it more in the bin of reality show than documentary.
Yeah, it's definitely cutesy. It's one of those shows that I haven't seen nearly as much as you have, but I really hope. So it's Australian. I really hope that they find a way to do an American version.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
You know that because and I hope they get deeper into some of the not only social complications, but I think Australia is definitely a more welcoming country when it comes to those types of
people.
I don't
with
even want to
disabilities.
say not even necessarily disability, but it's differences. How about differences? Because that's why it's called Love on the Spectrum. It's a spectrum of just different abilities and whatnot. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, it's always great to hear new voices for sure, and learn about different perspectives.
Yeah, and it's that's one of the things that I think was the most enlightening about it is just that there are some of the people in the show where you're like, I would have I could have interacted with this person, and I would have never guessed that they were on the spectrum, and then there's other people who are more like the classic, what you think when you think of like an autistic person is supposed to sound like, quote unquote. But yeah, really interesting show, cute, fun, quick watch. It's like 5 episodes.
Awesome.
So,
and the other people, the other people involved, I can't say enough about how open and welcoming and trying to be helpful they were in a very respectful manner. So yeah, it's a really good show. Good. Way to keep sneaking those recommendations in, Ryan. Isn't that episode?
Thought I'd make it kind of top heavy, throw it all out in the beginning. That way at the end I'm just like, football.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a nice week, at least here around in Minnesota. Here, we had some clouds, but finally got out of that really cold weather.
Got
we
some
had been
sunshine.
having. I finally had a weekend off myself, and I accomplished absolutely nothing.
You need those. You need those days.
I had a weekend off from the daily grind. That's not the name of the coffee shop I work at, but you know what? Speaking of coffee shops, this week's episode is brought to you by the Fresh Prince French Press. You do not want to talk to Uncle Phil until he's had his coffee. Fresh Prince French Press. So it was nice to get out of there. I absolutely love my job, but you do need to take a break every now and then. So yeah, I just sat around. I watched football also, and lost a little bit of money, made a little bit of money. So keep moving forward. It's pop tournament money. We just do, that's what we're doing.
It's going right back into the kitty.
So speaking of tournaments, we're here. Today we're just finishing up the second round of the 80s and 90s one-hit wonders. This is day 48. We've been going at this one for a little while. We've had 47 total matchups. Appreciate the people who sent in brackets. Quick update. Leading the pack right now, Nathaniel Smith with 35 of 47 correct so far.
Awesome.
So
Very
congratulations to you.
Yeah,
It's very
very
close.
impressive.
I'll just say it's very close, and it's still anyone's opportunity to take down that prize. But so we had the second round. I'm going to start in the 80s over here. Number one, Come On Eileen, 132 to 38 over. She blinded me with science. I thought this was going to be closer.
Yeah.
No.
Come On Eileen seems to just be like a runaway train.
It is a
Yeah.
powerhouse.
Another almost one-hit wonder.
Yep. It's
Not,
this was not pretty.
no.
You know, we won by almost 100 votes. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
That
a
was-
time where we have like songs winning by like 2 votes,
Yeah.
this one's winning by 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Not-
I think it's going to be tough, but it's, you know, it's got a tough road the next couple of rounds here. Mm-hmm. So
This
we'll
is
see.
this is when everything gets really, really interesting. It will be facing off against the winner of our next matchup, Safety Dance 109 over What I Am with 40. Another song. So our number 2 seed in that bracket, again getting over 100 votes each round. Seems almost unstoppable. This next matchup should be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely. You can
Yeah,
dance if
I
you want
think-
to.
I want you to dance on over to Facebook and vote on this matchup.
Yep.
That's
And then if
tomorrow.
you care a lot, dance over to Instagram too.
Yeah.
And
There you
Twitter.
go. But yeah, that one's actually coming up tomorrow. So
Oh,
look
awesome.
forward. No,
That'll
well,
be a
we're
big one.
recording this on Monday. It'll come out on Wednesday, so
Yeah.
you guys will have already. So get in your DeLoreans, head back
Go
to
back to
Tuesday.
First things
And vote on this
first,
match.
go back to Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then get your sports almanacs.
Yeah. Listen to a little
But not
Huey
till
Lewis.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then our last, well, not last, but another big blowout after that. Another number 1 seed, Take On Me, 121 over Somebody Who's Watching Me, 35. Any last love for Somebody's Watching Me?
No.
No?
Nope.
All right. So a little bit hotter of a matchup.
Oh, so
We
hot.
had
Hot to the touch.
Now, if we get down to Take On Me versus Come On Eileen, those
That's-
two, like, that's gonna be where.
That's gonna be
that
massive.
could be your semifinal. That's
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
even
that-
know. I don't even know what I'll do then.
Yeah.
It's getting me all worried.
Well, first, Take On Me has to get through the winner of number 2, I Melt With You, beating
Oh.
number 6's St. Elmo's Fire. Sorry, Jen.
I know that was
Sing-
hard for me for both. Like, I love both of those songs too much. Saint Elmo's Fire is one of my all-time favorites on all of this list, but Melt With You is like one of the best songs right now. Like, it's one of the best. Like, fits in with the category the most. You know, like it is so 80s. It's such a one-hit wonder. And it's such a cool song. Like, it's such a great bop, but then it's so twisted, like the lyrics. So I was really torn with both. It's just one of those where you're like, I love both so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was hard.
definitely a lot of, like you said, the lyrics in both of these songs really, really well done. You got, in this whole tournament, we got some earworms, but we do have some songs that really are well written.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Melt with you. I melt with you. Honestly, I'm kind of getting sick of again. It's like kind of, you hear something until you get sick of it, and then you forget about it, and it goes away.
Yep.
And then you hear it again, and you're like, "Oh yeah!" And now I'm kind of getting sick of it again. But it is like just a really well constructed pop song. Like it's kind of undeniable in that sense. Like the bridge is so great. And yeah, it's a really great song. I don't know if it has the power to take on
Me.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a more clever way to say it. To take on it.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't have the power to take on
I don't think we're gonna get it. I think Take on Me is as good as it's gonna get. But
you don't have a good take on Me.
No.
Yeah.
But the Take on Me is just such a perfect song. So I think that fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I think in this case, fortunately, we're gonna have two number one seeds representing in the final four, and Come On Eileen versus Take on Me is just gonna be a dream matchup.
All right. Well, we know what Ryan thinks about when he sleeps.
Well, I mean, and they're so different too. I mean, Take on Me is just so sleek and like, electronic and like, that when you picture the video, you think of like cruising on a motorcycle with like leather jacket and like slick back hair, and then Come On Eileen, you picture these like country folk with like overalls and violins,
and no shirts.
Yeah.
I think in that potential matchup, Come On Eileen is the favorite, but Take on Me is where the hot Vegas money is.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, it could be the big upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think Come On Eileen's probably not gonna go lower than like minus 250, maybe tops.
Get your bets in now. Caesar Sportsbook.
Yeah.
Jumping over to the other side, our first number one seed in the 80s bracket getting knocked out. Number 4, Tainted Love, 135 over number 1, Funky Town, 43. I didn't see it being this much of a blowout.
No, it was definitely, Funky Town was one of those that I think was, it didn't fit in that same mold as, these other songs as far as being like new wavy. It was definitely...
it was still disco, yeah. Like it was that 70s holdover.
So I think...
Yeah, Jenny's favorite music that repeats over and over again.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
but I think, going up against Tainted Love, which was so absolutely in that mold, proved to kind of, it was kind of its Achilles heel, and I think it just went up against... I mean, like, for instance, I think if Funky Town would have went up against It's Raining Men, it would have had a lot better chance, because they're both kind of like on the outside of that. But I would have hated that. I would have hated to have to choose between those two. So, but yeah, I'm sad to see Funky Town go. It's like I have said before. I think it's one of humankind's great achievements after the invention of tools. But
God.
Polio vaccine.
Yep, Funky Town.
Yep.
That's a good 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so now some close matchups.
There were a lot. They were so close.
Let's argue here a little bit. So we had number 6's, in parentheses, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight with 86 to Your Love's 84.
Oof.
Personally, I love both of these songs. They're fun, but I was a Your Love fan.
That was your favorite.
Yeah, I love Ryan, how you've brought up before the drumming in that song. It's just, and it's so anthemic, but this is the way people voted.
Yeah.
This is like the opposite of I Melt With You. I'm kind of liking this song more the more I hear it. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. I think it's gaining momentum, and this next matchup's gonna be interesting. I don't think there's a favorite here. Tainted Love versus Died in Your Arms. I think conventional wisdom says Tainted Love is kind of a slam dunk, but Died in Your Arms is on a roll. So we'll see.
Everybody screwed up. We could have had the double love matchup. Could have been Tainted Love versus Your Love. I think it's the hook or the chorus of Died in Your Arms Tonight that's really carrying it. And if you think about it, those aren't strong verses. Whereas Your Love is overall, I think, the stronger song. But
sounds like jealousy talking.
Yeah, it is jealousy talking. Jealousy's going to come through the screen and slap you pretty soon.
There were some heartbreakers this week, for sure.
Yeah, Your Love is definitely a great song, and Died in Your Arms is probably, by most measures, a lesser song. But who's to say?
But super memorable, yeah.
I will admit, I am happy I no longer have to defend a problematic song like Your Love, which is really just about a guy wanting to cheat on his girlfriend while she's out of town and be a real dick about it. So,
one thing I will say, because this is the last time we're going to talk about Your Love, go to youtube.com and look
.org.
Look up Bon Iver, Your Love. I don't know if it's still on. I don't know if it's still on there, or I haven't looked up this video in ages, but I remember like in probably 2009, 2010, he covered this on tour, and I remember they played at First Ave, and he played this, and I remember people like losing their mind, because it's classic like Bon Iver style, like super sad sack, but it was really gorgeous, and kind of made you like rethink the way the lyrics, the intent of the lyrics, coming from that kind of a sensitive, voice and tone.
And I'll give the protagonist some credit. He doesn't hate on the older ladies, so good for him. Not being an ageist. That's it. And next, I don't know if I even want to talk. I feel like we probably had Russian interference here, considering it was Iran that won over It's Raining Men. We know
Heartbreaker for me.
We know how much Ahmadinejad and Putin are in bed together. So of course Iran won 104 to 99 over It's Raining Men.
Close.
This is
I know, and there were a lot of like big fans in the comments too that are like, It's Raining Men should win this whole tournament. Like, it started off super strong, and I thought, yeah, it's totally gonna get through this round.
It's the silent majority.
And then it was like, oh man, and I blame my husband. He voted Iran, and I am still mad at him about it.
I'm kind of
we'll get to him later.
I'm having flashbacks to November 2016, where it's like everybody I talked to voted for It's Raining Men. How is this possible? I didn't talk to one person who voted for Iran.
Oh boy, yeah. He's kicked out of the group, by the way. We banned him. I'm kidding. No. We love having him here, and hopefully he'll just learn how to vote better in the future. Maybe a frying pan to the head would help that.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
And then rounding out the last matchups, or the last matchup of the 80s, so Iran will take on 99 Luftballons, 87 over It Takes Two, 63. Not as close, but still, this was it was back and forth throughout the day.
It was close. It was close for most of the day, I feel like. It wasn't until the evening that it kind of pulled away.
Yeah.
But I was really happy it did. I I think this is.
I love both these songs.
I do too. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have been mad. It's not like, it's Raining Men versus Iran. I would have been happy because It Takes Two is an awesome song. But 99 Luftballons was just kind of, I think that's my favorite of the songs that are left over.
Interesting.
Out of these final 8. So
Wow.
Depends on how.
Yeah.
Well, until the next time you go back around to hating it again.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe, but
Never happens with them.
I don't see that happening. I think this song is just the strange composition of it is just so cool, and everything about the story of the band and of the singer is just so cool. The lyrics. I just, this is the song I want to win, and I would have been bummed if it would have got knocked out.
Yeah.
And not to mention, this is, at this point now, the only female led band left in the tournament. So that's just another reason to get behind it, but
All right.
Yep. We'll have my vote.
Well, that's our 80s side. Jumping over to the 90s. Hey, can you like over this? Can you play like some kazoos and maybe like Old Lang Syne or some sort of celebration music? Because we had Love Fool beating Closing Time 86 to 66. Let's light off some firework noises. Put that in here. Closing the book on Closing Time. We all finally made the right decision. Well, everybody except for 66 of you.
Yep. Right here.
Closing the book on Closing Time. That's all I got to say. I love Love Fool. I think the thing I love most about Love Fool is right at the end of that song when she does the kind of speaking half of the chorus. Mm-hmm. I usually don't like speaking, like just straight talking in songs, but that's one of my most favorite talking in songs.
Yeah.
Do you guys got any favorite talking in songs?
I mean, I don't mean, I'm sure I could come up with something. I was just thinking my favorite part of Love Fool is the very opening, the first seconds of it, the ding 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 ding. Like,
the hi-hat.
it's so recognizable. I feel like you know that song within 3 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's
great.
I don't love Love Fool, but that was definitely one. I said this in the last episode. That was one of those matchups where I opened it up and I said, I'll look at this again later. I'm not really excited for this one. But yeah, I am happy that Closing Time went down just because I was not excited for number 8 seeds making it to the final 4, which I was worried about. So
I don't mind that. I just hate Closing Time.
Yep. See,
You
and
want everything to be open 24 hours.
I like antagonizing Jake, so that was
Hey, it's
fun.
working so far.
we all do. That means you're getting to know him better.
Yeah. We all need to find some joy in this world right now, and antagonizing Jake has really made my summer better.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I can help. I think it's gonna be an interesting matchup in the next round. So it'll face off against number 3, Rhythm of the Night, 75 over number 2, Cantaloupe. Oh, this one was back and forth.
That
too.
was so close too.
I split my vote on this one. I think I went 2 on Cantaloupe and 1 on Rhythm of the Night because both just absolute bangers.
Yeah. This one was sad for
Yeah.
me because I love Cantaloupe so much, but Rhythm of the Night is awesome too. I'm not mad.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope Rhythm of the Night goes through to the final 4. I think it would be a good representative.
Yeah.
It's especially I think it represents an important part of 90s one-hit wonderdom and 90s music
Yeah.
in general, which is that Eurodance
Yeah.
subgenre. So
Yeah, but unfortunately for at least this tournament, we will no longer be able to flip Fantasia.
no.
And after that, we got an upset, and it was a close one. Number 5, Torn, 101
I
over
know.
number 1. What's up? 97.
Yeah.
I did not expect this to be this
I
close
was
or
very
this result.
surprised. Yeah.
This was super surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Nothing from you guys?
I was shocked
Shocked?
and a little bit sad. Like, I like Torn. I owned that Natalie Imbruglia album, but it was just like, it's like, oh man, they grabbed a soap opera star and had her sing like a cover of a song that had already been done. Like, and she was just like, yeah, small and pretty and had a nice voice. But it just, but What's Up was just like so like 90s and different and yeah, so like grunge movement and so yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wh-
This
Authentic.
was a
Yeah.
this was a fun one.
When I saw this, like when I first tuned in, to the vote later, on in the evening, I screamed at the top of my lungs, "What's going on?"
Oh boy, that is.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's supposed to make those kind of jokes. You're stealing my thunder here. This was an interesting one to do the research though, for writing up on these. A lot of fun stuff with the titles. I think we've talked about before how What's Up was purposely titled that to not be confused with Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Where Torn, Natalie Imbruglia was like the 4th artist to record that song, and it had been originally recorded in I think Norwegian or Dutch, and it was called Burned instead of Torn. So interesting, but Torn/Burned moves on, and it's going to be going up against again another one that you all got wrong. I promise this. I'm roasting everybody. Number 3's I'm going to be 104 over You Gotta Be 74. Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm going to be is actually an 80s song. It just didn't get released in the United States until 3 years after it already came out. They just dumb. 2, You Gotta Be is probably the thing I love most about that song is that's one that could be released right now and still go straight to number 1.
Yep.
What are you people thinking? I love you all. Don't get me wrong. I love you all. You're the best because you're fans of what we do here.
Yes.
But oh my gosh.
I can see. I mean, I love You Gotta Be. I voted for You Gotta Be, but I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles was just such a phenomenon. And it still is. It's more memorable, because it's so weird and like the accents and the words they use, the weird colloquialisms like
Haberin for you.
Yeah.
Ryan's the parent that sneaks ice cream into the bedroom after the kid's been sent to bed with no dessert.
I'm bummed, but I think that it's more deserving to be in the Elite 8 than Torn.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's
we'll
a more
see, 'cause
iconic
they're
song
going against
for
each
sure.
other.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I'm going to start my Torn campaign right now.
It's gonna start receiving robo-texts like
Yeah.
"Hi, this is Jake
man.
from the Torn campaign."
Jumping over to the other side, in the Mac and Back matchup, we had Return of the Mac 109 over Baby Got Back 72. That was the 4 seed beating the 8 seed. Yeah, a lot of people thought
know.
that Baby Got Back was going to just storm through.
It
and
came
that
in with
did
a
not
lot of
deserve-
momentum. It won that first round, no problem. So I was hoping its momentum would keep it going. So nothing against Return of the Mac, or again what I thought it was called, we're turning it back again.
It was so fun. I believe that matchup was on a Sunday, because I was watching it throughout the day. So it was either
Yeah.
a Sunday or a Monday. And it was so funny because at like 1 o'clock or 1:30, like everybody in the comment section was like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. Baby Got Back sucks. It's like, and like everybody was just ripping it apart. And then all of a sudden, slowly over the next like couple hours, Return of the Mac like pulled ahead. And it was funny. So like if you would have looked at like 4 o'clock, you're like, wait, like it seems like everybody in the comments section is mad that Baby Got Back is winning, but it's losing by like 30 votes right now.
Significantly, yeah.
But yeah, it was a really funny kind of like deconstruction of the lyrics in the comments, and a fun conversation in the comments.
It was a fun one for sure.
Yep, it's it'll be interesting how it goes in its next matchup. Much closer, not as many votes in this one, but again, very, very close. Number 2, Groove is in the Heart, 66 over number 3, Flagpole Sitta, 62.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So close.
I love both
Yeah.
these songs. I did give all my vote to Groove is in the Heart because I really, really enjoy that song, but I love both of them. So it should be. I'm really excited to see Groove is in the Heart versus Return of the Mac.
Oh yeah, that's a great matchup. I split my vote. I did 2 for Groove is in the Heart, 1 for Flagpole Sitta. But it was a close one, and it's yeah, I love Groove is in the Heart. I love Return of the Mac. This is gonna be. I think I'm gonna have to vote Return of the Mac. But I hope this is a good matchup. And judging by the the vote totals from the previous rounds, I think this is going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, Jenny, I know this is almost kind of redemption here because I know how much you loved the overall Harvey Danger album. So maybe not as much of a one-hit wonder, right?
Not a super one-hit wonder. I totally agree. I owned the Harvey Danger album, and they were all good. But when I looked at it, like, Flagpole Sitta was, like, comfortable, which is surprising, because sitting on a flagpole does not sound comfortable.
Not synonymous
At
by
all.
any means.
But when I looked earlier, I was like, oh, yeah, it's totally got this. I'm definitely a Flagpole Sitta fan. And I'm going to vote for songs, even if they're not true one-hit wonders. I will vote for them as long as I can. But so yeah, then when I found out Groove is in the Heart, like pulled it at the last minute, I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
I would have like campaigned a little bit harder if I'd known I had to.
that was pretty wild. One thing I loved in, not to like quote myself, but in the copy for that day's matchup, I said, as parents called or as parents called them, Harvey Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other fun thing about that copy. So, obviously the name is partially derived from pole sitting, and some of the facts about pole sitting were incredibly hilarious. If you haven't had a chance, go and read that copy and read about just some of the Shipwreck. Why would your nickname be Shipwreck?
If you were a pole sitter, seems like a harbinger of doom.
All right, so and then our last quadrant, we had number 4, Bittersweet Symphony, 116 over What Is Love, the number 1 seed, 58. I'm not surprised necessarily by the results, but just how handedly.
Yep.
Bittersweet Symphony won, but I guess that is really a '90s anthem. So
It's such a pretty song, and yeah, I feel like that's one of those songs that everyone kind of forgot about, and then you remember it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is really good. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Should listen to this more often.
I
yeah, that song.
So a couple of my friends, Kat and Adrian, are everyday voters. Shout out to you two. Not the band. They
Bono's so sad.
they
Fuck you, Bono.
yeah. Shout out Bono. Shout out The Edge. Adam Clay, 2,000 pounds.
And Larry Mellon Senior.
Yeah. They Kat and Adrian, every day they after the matchup is announced, they listen to both songs back to back and have a discussion about like which is the better song, and then they put in their vote.
That's awesome.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes me feel very validated as a human being.
They're gonna have to waste a lot of time when our scary movie tournament comes up.
Maybe just do the trailers. But
Sorry.
I can imagine listening to What Is Love and then listening to Bittersweet Symphony. Kind of,
Yeah.
What Is Love would seem a little hollow in
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, these are philosophical, questions we need to think about. What is love, Ryan? I guess you don't know.
Aren't we all just searching for that?
Yeah. Trying to find the answer.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll find the answer in our last matchup, which is going on right now. So, right now we still, nope, nobody will listen to this again until Wednesday. I keep forgetting that. So, we're not talking
We're
to you
not
live.
live.
Get into your DeLorean, go back to Tuesday, then go back to Monday.
Wait on your sports almanac.
Yep.
So, currently, or as of about an hour ago, we have number 2's This Is How We Do It with 65, and number 3, I Wish, with 47. I think I don't think it's going to end up being, 2 or 3 votes that differentiates this, but I think it's going to be closer than what the actual vote total says in the end. 2 really, really great songs here.
They're fun. They're both fun.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I'm happy. We're closing out the round with a close matchup, and I'm happy for the sake of this podcast, recording this podcast. It's not too close, so we can kind of say it's probably going to be Montel Jordan moving on.
Yeah.
Too close by
Feel
next.
pretty confident.
Yep, I mean it's got a double-digit lead at this point, which at this time of day with 6 hours left, it's probably gonna win. Yeah, this was a really tough one. I still have 2 of my votes left. I voted for I Wish on Facebook, or no, I take it back. I think I voted for This Is How We Do It. I can't even remember, but that's how tough this was for me. I literally, it's like it meant in like coin flip territory here. I think that they are both great songs. This Is How We Do It, I think, has a much bigger cultural imprint, and I Wish, I think, is a little more fun and doesn't have that replay factor where I've heard it like 1,000 fewer times than This Is How we do it. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I voted for I Wish, because it's just fun and I haven't heard it as much. And it's a good time. Every time it makes me smile.
Yep.
And partially because, I haven't heard it a million times.
Yep.
So.
All right, I'm gonna do my impersonation of we brought him up earlier, Stephen. I'm gonna do my impersonation of Stephen King's cousin, Larry King.
Okay.
Ryan Barrett, 2-part question. If you had a wish, what would it be? Second part, how would you do it?
Oh boy, if I had a wish, I guess I'd wish for hat, a rabbit in a hat with a bat. I think I'd wish for a rabbit in a hat. Part 2 to the question, with a bat, I think.
Jennifer Schmidt.
I got nothing. No.
Same 2 questions.
It's a Monday morning.
Larry, your questions are
I got
much
nothing,
too
Larry
intense
King. I'm sorry.
for no preparation.
I apologize.
I
I'm
don't
no
have
Ryan Barrett when it comes to thinking on my feet.
I wish I had like a better canned answer for that. You know, like there's some things like if somebody asks me, "What's your favorite movie of all time?" Like I have answers prepared in my head to have a discussion about that. If somebody says,
Well, that's not a good interview.
What's your what if you had one wish, what would it be? I don't have a response ready for that one. I should, but
No, I thought you played it very well.
thank you.
Yeah, you did. Great answer. Yep.
Speaking of Larry King, everybody go check out the YouTube clip of 30 Rock Tracy Jordan on Larry King Live.
That's pretty funny.
Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Then you'll understand. So yeah, that rounds. Well, again, we still have that one last matchup going on, but that about rounds out the second round. So some fun things there. In that second round, we had 5 matchups that were decided by 5 votes or less.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Super
so much
close.
fun.
You got to vote.
Yep.
You got to vote. There, or it was a total of 8 matchups decided by 30 votes or less. So again, it doesn't seem close, but that's actually really, really close.
Yep.
I got. Do you guys got time for a little bit of trivia?
Absolutely.
Always.
I
Ryan, you got a little bit?
love trivia.
Yeah.
My first kind of area of trivia. So we had in the second round in the 80s, on the 80s bracket, we had 6 songs from 1982. Both mine and Jennifer's birth years. This is the best year ever.
It was. Yep.
So my birthday is February 21st, and I just thought I'd ask you guys if you had any clue what the number 1 song on February 21st, 1982 was. If you had to just kind of take a random guess.
I'm going to recuse myself because I know what the number 1 song is for every date ever.
Or how about, tell you what, if I give you the band, okay, we'll guess a song. Does that sound good?
If you
a
give me
little
the
obscure,
band, I
but-
can maybe guess a song. Yeah.
I think you guys might get this. It's from the Jay Giles Band.
Centerfold?
Nailed it.
Ah, nice.
I would have.
So,
I wouldn't
yes.
have guessed that song went to number 1.
Well, again, on that day, that was the number 1 song.
Sure.
Awesome.
No, I'll hold on to my second little piece of trivia there.
So,
Ryan, what do you got?
I have like a much more like intense question than that. So hold on to your hats, and why don't we do this?
I'm ready.
Why don't we do this? I'm gonna
Hold on to your butts.
I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask this question, and then let's open it up to the audience as well. Is that good with
Yeah.
you
Okay.
guys? And then we can answer it on the Facebook page on Thursday. That'll
Yep.
give everyone a chance to listen to the episode on Wednesday and get their guesses out there. So
okay.
There are 2 questions. They both have to do with the best song Oscar.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
first of all, in the 70s, the decade known as the 70s, Barbra Streisand sang 2 songs that won the best song Oscar.
Okay.
In the 80s, somebody else achieved that same feat, singing 2 of the best Oscar songs. Who sang those 2
Alright.
best Oscar songs?
Ooh. Ooh. So actual winners?
Yes.
Or nominated?
Yes, winners.
Winners.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to like let that marinate.
Yeah.
But
Are we allowed to throw
Yeah.
guesses?
If you know they're wrong, well, yeah. No. Yeah,
You don't have to tell us if you.
yeah.
you know the
I
answer.
won't.
You don't have to
I
tell us
won't
if
tell
we're
you
right.
if you're right. Throw out some guesses if you want.
I mean, 80s.
80s.
Is there a small chance Prince did it? Maybe. Was Purple Rain even up for best song? Madonna, maybe?
No.
No. Is this a popular person? Is this somebody we would know?
I don't know
Probably.
whether or not I should give hints or not. This,
Yeah.
this is
Could it be Dolly Parton?
This isn't like this isn't like
Because when was 9 to 5?
Ezra Buzzington
I feel
or
like
something.
that one. Or Carly Simon. Oh, I'm gonna guess Carly Simon.
I'm just making
So-
sure it's like somebody that you have to be really, really knowledgeable to have known of.
that there's different levels of knowledgeable.
Oh God, I hate you.
I think that there are definitely people who yeah, that's all I'll say. All right.
All right, so
Okay.
Next
Jennifer,
question.
you're saying Carly Simon.
I'm going Carly Simon.
She couldn't have done it 4 times. I almost feel like you're doing a trick question here, and I want to say Barbara Streisand again.
It's not a trick question. It's not Barbara Streisand.
Well, okay, there we go. See, now I got one less person to choose. No, I'll go Dolly Parton. You'll say we'll find out on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer says Carly Simon. I like the Dolly
Those
Parton
are
answer.
both very good guesses. Okay. Next question. Similar
You got
question.
two-parter, that's right.
So that was my 80s question. Here's my 90s question. Very rarely do 2 songs from the same movie get nominated
Ooh.
outside of animated movies.
Disney movies.
That's
like Disney movies.
That's kind
why they
of
had to make the rule.
the exception to the rule. But every once in a while, it does happen that that non-animated movies get nominated. Now,
Okay.
you would think like musicals would have a good shot at this achievement. But that's not always the case. I'll tell you.
Well, they have to be original songs to be nominated.
They do
for the
have to be
Oscars,
original.
So that's
they have
why
to be original
musicals-
songs. Yep.
Yep.
So,
Often, a lot of their musical numbers can't be nominated.
yep. And a lot of times, like in the case of Mary Poppins. Oh no, Mary Poppins was all original, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The
that
new
would've-
Mary
yep,
Poppins, yeah.
The musical came way later.
mean Mary
Yep,
Poppins
and that's all.
Returns.
But
Yeah,
so,
Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote most of the music for the new Mary Poppins.
so anyway, in this last decade, the 2010s, there was one non-animated movie that had 2 nominations for best song in the same year. It was La La Land. It had the songs City of Stars, which won, and Audition, in parentheses, The Fools Who Dream. In 2008, so in that decade, there was one movie that achieved it, and this was wild. Slumdog Millionaire. Jai Ho won best song that year.
Great.
But
Yeah,
then there was
that
another
super
song
fun.
called Osaya, which was also nominated.
Wow.
So in the 90s though, there were 2 back-to-back years. Or no, I'm sorry, not back-to-back. Scratch that.
This is the longest
back to
question
too much
ever.
exposition.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I'm looking. There were 2 in the 90s. I'll give you the years.
You got it.
In 91 and 93, there were
Okay.
there were movies that had 2 songs nominated that were not animated movies.
And these are songs,
Okay.
not scores.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
What are the movies? Is that the question?
What are the movies?
Yeah.
And these are definitely like, you know the movies.
Would know. Yeah, really
You-
well.
Let's see. So 93, it's got to be Jurassic Park with Velociraptor rap.
Yep. The Velociraptor.
And Tyrannosaurus Takedown. That death metal song.
So we got one out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, 91 and 93. God damn. I'm out on this because I guarantee
Oh.
I did not see. Well, 93. Nope, that wouldn't be that. I'm at a loss
Yeah.
here, so we're gonna
My
have to.
brain's not working right
We're
now.
we have to see what
Yeah.
what else.
I'm
Think
gonna
about
think.
it. Let
Yep.
it marinate.
I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I know what it is.
Text me. I'll still probably be up.
Yep.
I still feel like there was a song in Jurassic Park.
Well, Jurassic Park won Best Score,
Oh, I know you will die.
Of
course.
so
But there was also the vocal version of that song where it was just the guy going. "Du- du- 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 du."
I think that's what we all do. I mean, if you're having a really good day, or if you're starting your day out really well, that's just the way to be driving to work in the morning.
Self
I had one-
soundtrack.
I had one last
right.
little bit from 1982. Just again, we're all about pop culture here, so 1982 was a big year for movies. What do you think the number 1 movie of 1982 was? This is a pretty easy one if you know your movie years. It was a
don't.
biggie.
I'm gonna say
1982.
The Empire Strikes Back. No.
Close,
That was
but
earlier.
that was 84.
That
Oh no, yeah, that was earlier. I thought you said.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
late 70s, right?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that,
it was
80,
like
80 was
79.
Empire,
80
and Return
and
was
Return of the-
84, I believe.
84 was Return of the Jedi.
I think so. I don't know. Again, I could be way
Okay,
off, but
82.
82.
E.T..
You're in the
it
kind
E.T.?
of the right area. I'm sorry. What'd you
Ooh.
say, Jennifer?
Okay.
You got it. It's E.T., isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. It's E.T.
Yeah.
Now here's
Yep.
the funny. Now here's the funny thing about that. So E.T. made right around 300 million. Mm-hmm. The other 4 movies in the top 5, they all made right around 100, just over 100 million. Do you want to guess what the number 5 movie was on that list? And you're not going to
No.
believe it. You're not going to believe you when I tell you the movie that came in number 5 after E.T. Ryan, you got to guess?
1982, number 5 movie after E.T.
This is crazy. Give up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna run them down. So after E.T., it was Rocky 3.
Okay.
Then On Golden Pond.
Well, yep.
Then An Officer and a Gentleman. Again,
Yes.
all of these movies making over 100 million.
That's insane.
Yep.
Or maybe it was
Yeah, for the early 80s.
it was adjusted for
It's a lot.
inflation.
Oh,
We're-
yeah. But still,
But still.
it's insane that
They're all like
it's insane that
blockbusters.
those movies were blockbusters. Like,
Oh wait! Oh, just wait! And again, only 20 million behind the number 2. Could have been the number 2 movie of that year. Porky's.
No.
why?
Porky's.
Wow. Porky's.
So maybe our
And
year isn't
We've
that
got On
great.
Golden Pond, and we've got Porky's.
Officer and a Gentleman and Porky's.
And the Rocky movie with Mr. T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, I would love to work in Rocky into pop tournaments somehow because I'm a humongous Rocky fan, and I'm like,
there's 8.
there are, yeah. I mean, and if
Yeah,
you,
there's 8 Rocky movies.
yeah, and there's, I'm like one of those people that kind of, I think Rocky 4 is like really awful. Which I think most people who are my age or our age, I guess we're all like around the same age, like hold up Rocky 4 as being like the great Rocky movie because we were kind of too young to be part of the, Rocky 1 phenomenon.
Or too young to understand propaganda.
Sure. Rocky 4 is really bad.
That's what I mean. Like, it was all propaganda.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 are fucking amazing. Rocky 3 is, like, still really fun. Rocky 4 is really
fun.
bad.
It's the fun one.
Yeah. But yeah. Cool. Rocky rules.
Rocky rules. No, we can do.
Creed,
I think we can do
Creed rules.
That's what I'm saying.
Creed
we can do a
good.
1 week
That's the
tournament.
one I've seen. Yeah.
You got Rockies 1 through 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed 1, and Creed 2. That's your 8.
We could. Yep.
We'll just have to figure out the seeding. So
Yep.
maybe that'll be one of our questions one of these weeks. How do we seed the Rocky movies? And everybody can argue it out. Cool. Well, I don't think we have anything else to get to. I thought, Jennifer, I'm sorry. I don't know if you listened to or saw last week's episode. You were here in spirit, and I thought about turning into you for a second.
I love it.
So,
I'm like, I am always making a weird face or have my eyes closed in whatever, like, still that Ryan uses to, like, put on Facebook. I'm like, seriously, do I have to look so weird in this picture?
It's really hard. And with YouTube, it makes you choose from, like, 3 images. So it's just kind of luck of the draw.
I'm just going to use this to make you say outrageous things.
Yep.
Like, like, Return of the Mac should win this whole tournament. See?
That's like, I was expecting something way more outrageous than that.
Yeah, that could be as outrageous as I get.
We grew up in different households. That's pretty outrageous around here.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Get on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and vote. Don't forget that
there's got to be some fun matchups. It's got to be exciting.
Elite
the
8.
votes.
We're down to 8 in the 80s, 8 in the 90s. That means we have like not very many days left of this tournament.
Yeah.
And then we're moving on to scary ass movies.
Woo!
And just real quick, like a quick wrap up announcement. We're going to be doing so I think what our we're going to be doing like 6 seeds locked in from each quadrant of the horror movie bracket, leaving 2 open, and we're going to have you help us fill out the rest of the bracket by voting. We're going to give you 12 movies to choose from, picking 4 each day, and the top vote getters are going to get in. So stay on your toes, Pop Tournaments universe.
Yep.
We're going to need your help.
Putting you to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely stay on your toes, except for Sean Mack, because he doesn't know how tournaments work. So we'll see you guys all again next week.
Adios. Bye.